These midnight changes are brilliant. That's right. A lot of midnight changes are coming in. I mean, we just looked through all the new talents. There's a ton of stuff. A lot of the new crest system. Thank God. Finally, they're changing that. Belial is probably going to address that here. But let's see what he's caught on to. Maybe I missed a few things, but these new midnight changes are going to be brilliant. Let's check it out.
For the last two expansions, WoW has harbored an open secret that gearing is just far too complicated, that you need add-ons or a reference guide just to upgrade your gear right, that you need that raid bot sub. I mean, when do you spend your catalyst charges? When do you get more charges? What crests upgrade what gear? Why can't you upgrade heroic gear from a heroic raid? And why are all of our sparks fractured? These are the sorts of things that if you play WoW every single season, you don't really have a problem.
Nothing pissed me off more than the having to click the crests after you buy them in your bag. I mean, like, I don't know why that's ever been a thing. That's probably not something he's addressing here. But why is it when I purchase crests, you know, where I upgrade crests or whatever, why doesn't it just change in the currency? Why does it go to my bag and becomes a clickable thing that now I have to click to put it into my currency tab? I don't know if that's like a limitation of the game or what. Or maybe it helps with caps on things. I don't know, but I've always hated that.
But for a lot of other people, it's completely confusing, and it just doesn't make basic common sense. And here's where there's massive good news. The new alpha build has fixed most of these problems. It's also loosened some of the add-on restrictions.
Wait, Bellular is complaining about not getting out. Did Bellular not get alpha? Really? He's in the same boat as me now? Wow.
We've also updated the cooldown manager with text-to-speech alerts.
That's crazy.
That's quite huge. They fixed a massive transmog farming issue, and, well, actually with Midnight, getting full mythic tier sets will be extremely simple. It's been a hell of a week for the news, so strap in. Now, have you ever rolled a fresh endgame character, inhaled a few guides, and done rubbish DPS because basically you're still new and you haven't actually practiced? Well, back in the day, that's how coding, when all you were really doing is a university course, kind of felt. But with today's sponsor, boot.dev, you're going to get both the best way to learn backend development and one that is made specifically for you, a gamer, quite literally, because Boot is structured like a community RPG.
Great.
It is one with soul, and the founder Lane actually hit me up years ago because he's also a WoW player and he's designing it for people like us who want to learn back-end development.
Can't AI do back-end development
now? Over 750,000 students completed 33.7 million lessons.
And he was whining on Twitter about it.
Development from the fundamentals through to advanced career-focused training. You'll be doing personal projects for your portfolio and guided projects, like this really fun one of making a Pokedex. But here's what actually matters. Knowing the real fundamentals. It's easy to fire up, say, V0 or Cursor.
Cadence, that makes sense.
I figured it was because of the crest caps. As they say now, vibe-coded stuff. But very often, well, when you do that, you may not know the fundamentals. That can often lead to funny and security nightmare-like results. But with Boot, well, you'll actually know the fundamentals, and the learning paths are in either TypeScript or Go, which is a fantastic thing. I'm so glad they added TypeScript. It's all well designed, super motivating because of the RPG structure. It's got goddamn boss fights in it, and it's really fantastic. You'll get 25% off your first purchase at boot.dev/Bellular.
Use the man's code.
If you're not happy, well, they will refund you on the spot with a 30-day money-back guarantee.
Wonderful.
Okay, let's get into the simplification of gearing. So we heard from Ian in the Q&A that Valor Stones would be removed from the game, and everybody celebrated, of course. I mean, that was just good news. But we also heard that crests would be simplified. We didn't really know what that means, but the good news is that we now do. So over in the Midnight Alpha, all crest names and descriptions have been updated, meaning that it looks like this, which is quite different. You'll see it all starts one stage earlier at Adventurer, and it still goes all the way up to Myth. But the fantasy names have...
I'm so happy with these fucking changes. I can't even express it, honestly. I don't know if it's showing on my face right now, but I'm glowing because I have hated the crest names ever since the first iteration, like post first iteration on Dragonfly. Because why do I need to know that Runed correlates with heroic, and I don't even know what the hell's going on half the time with the crest. And they changed it every season, so now you got like your Mana Forged, Runed, Omega, Johnny Boy, Hanging Schlong, heroic crest. Like, well, what was all that about? I don't know who was coming up with that shit, but finally, we're streamlining it. That's it. You got your 5 crests right here, and they're going to correlate directly with the gear. Perfect. This is what I needed. My brain's not going to function at a high level ever again. I'm aging. I need this shit simplified. Thank you.
Actually changed. So Carved and Runed are no longer called Carved and Runed. Now the crests simply share the name of their upgrade tracks. So if you want to upgrade a hero item, all you need is hero crests. That is simple. That is intuitive. It's much better. Now, there's some other things. We don't know how drops have changed to match this, and there is one minor little concern here. You see, there used to be an overlap in the upgrade tracks, right? And
So
Blizzard's
Valor Stones are now adventure. No, Valor Stones don't exist. Blizzard got rid of those. There's no more Valor Stones. Two things that I've been asking for. If anyone's been watching the stream for more than 5 days, they've heard me complain for now freaking a year about how I don't want Valor Stones in the game anymore and how they need to change the cresting naming system. Clearly, Blizzard watches my shit. It's very obvious now, guys.
idea of making it
They made all
that
the changes
when
I
you
asked
needed
for.
mythic crests to finish your heroic item, well, the whole point was that would nudge you towards doing the next tier of content. That appears to no longer be the case, and that would mean that, say, finishing your hero item with just hero crests, well, now that serves as more of a natural stopping point. To some people, that could be a bad thing. To others, though, it could just mean they feel like their character is finished. That could be good. Now, there's other things that may change, like
Sure.
item levels and gear sources. Obviously, we don't know all of that, but for now, this looks much easier to follow and understand. And trust me here, if you don't think this is a
True,
big
Dunzo.
deal, I think you'd actually be surprised. It's very easy for those of us who play every single season to just get lost in the sauce and take all these things for granted. But trust me, for newer players or people who are just getting into like properly playing a season,
Wait, am I a newer player? Is that what he said? I've been playing this game for 20 plus years now. I'm a newer player because I don't understand the crest system. Shit. No, it's not. It's not that it was just like one extra thing. Like, I don't know why I have to know this one extra thing. Why can't we just simplify the names? And Valor Stones were just annoying because they capped them. If they uncapped them and I could just play progressively and always have Valor Stones built up, I wouldn't care. But the fucking cap was annoying because it forced you to replay when you wanted to upgrade shit. Because they capped you out when you were playing a lot. Because, you have ebbs and flows in the season. So when you're at one of those like big points where you're playing all the time, you felt like you wouldn't benefit from it down the line because they would cap out your crests. And maybe you didn't have any upgrades at that time. I should say Valor Stones. They capped them. So that's why it was annoying. That was the most annoying part about it. So I'm just glad they're gone now. Just get rid of them. There's no need for it.
this shit was way too complex, didn't make sense to them. So basically, this is a good change.
You want to cap the crest, that's fine. But the cap on the Valor Stones was annoying because it was like a cap on a cap. That's what it felt like. And I just felt like it was an unnecessary currency. So they're getting rid of it. Great.
So that's good news for gearing, but originally, all those changes came with a big downside. The lack of a difficulty overlap threatened
I understand the
people's
reason for
transmog
caps.
farming.
You're right, Cadence.
As an example, a normal raid item
double
would no
currency was
longer
annoying.
upgrade its appearance to the heroic one. And the good news is that after some very polite feedback over in the forums, Blizzard have
changed it.
changed their minds here.
I knew this was going to happen. And I said it back when we were reading this and people were freaking out. I was like, guys, I think they're going to change it. I think they're going to go back to the old way. They're going to give us both ways now, so it's good. You can upgrade your gear the way you should be able to upgrade your gear, but then you can also use the catalyst to get the transmogs. Fantastic. I think this is what everyone wanted. It's the best of both worlds.
And now, whenever an item is fully upgraded, they will upgrade in appearance as well. So that would mean that you can get mythic sets by fully upgrading your heroic version. And that would mean no more having to go out of your way to get the right crest. So that's fairly huge. And on the topic of gearing, let's talk about the catalyst charges. There's a huge upgrade coming to the catalyst to make it even easier. And we've all been there. You want your
good
force
change.
set as soon as is possible, but you're afraid of upgrading a veteran piece that you know won't go the distance. You know that if you do, a champion or a hero one will drop right away, and that'll just leave you feeling, stuck for 2
True.
weeks waiting for a charge. Well, it's a bit complicated, but there's now a very smart change coming in the Midnight expansion. Getting your force set bonus will unlock a feat of strength achievement, and once you've got that achievement, you'll be able to find more catalyst charges, where basically they'll drop randomly from Raid, Mythic Plus Delves, and PvP. So, if you find a big upgrade and you want to catalyze it, all you have to do is play more until you get a charge. And honestly, this one is huge.
That's great.
For the transmog farmers as well.
So you could just play the game and get another charge and then use it. So you don't have to be afraid to use the charges. Yeah, it's a good thing. And definitely.
You'll now have way more charges to get the rest
Get
of
more
your tier
charges in a
appearances.
season.
That's fairly huge. And do remember, by the way, that unlocking a class set gets you all of the
Basically
lower
an amazing
difficulties
thing, yeah.
as well. So, fairly huge changes. And what I want to do next is combine this all to get a picture of Midnight gearing. Get a load of this. If
I'm going to say right now, this is all good stuff. This is really good stuff. Yeah, gearing in Midnight's going to be better in every way, shape, or form. They got rid of like every pain point. And then the changes they made that people were already complaining about, they fixed it again. So they're clearly listening to feedback. These are all really, really good. Gearing in Midnight's going to be the best gearing we've had in a long time.
You combine all the changes I've talked about thus far in the video, you realize it's simple to get every single color and every item for your class sets in Midnight.
Nice.
You just need to play the game. So as an example, from doing Mythic Plus in the 4 to 8 range or Heroic Raid, you will collect the 3 pieces necessary. Those being 1, hero gear for every armor slot, 2...
You just have to play the game. I wonder if people are still going to complain. Like, why does Blizzard make me play the game? Why can't I just get the gear, buy it off the WoW store? Believe it or not, like, I know we joke about the WoW store, but there are people who would prefer that. There's people who are like, why can't I just, spend some real money and get it? I don't understand it. You just play the game a little bit, and if you don't play the game, you're probably not going to get the stuff, and that's okay.
enough catalyst charges to change them all into tier, and then 3 enough hero crests to upgrade them. You can get that all from that level of content. You just need to max them all out and catalyze them, and bam, done. You'll have your sets. And it doesn't even matter what order you do that stuff in, and it really is that simple. But there's another change to make things just a bit more simple as well, and that is fractured sparks. They're no longer a thing. Now you'll just find sparks, but you'll need 2 to make an item. So what that is, right, is basically the exact same in terms of your sparks, but it's a little bit more simple for people because you just need to get 2 of the same item instead of getting 2 baby items that you then need to turn into one of the item that you actually want. Basically, it's Blizzard just removing some steps. So that's it for gearing.
It's great.
For now, it's
great
really
changes.
good news, but it's only the start of today's news video. Okay, this one is a developing story for now, and that's by Blizzard's own admission. What they've done is they've loosened restrictions on certain add-on APIs, specifically around tooltips and cooldown controls. And now, the upshot is that add-ons can pass secret values in. That may seem like a bunch of techie stuff, but
Okay,
basically
what
to
does
make
that
it
mean?
simple, this just means there will be at least a little bit more freedom with what can be customized and shown to you by an add-on. But the most noteworthy part is Blizzard says more changes are coming in Alpha 3, which is next week's wave. That should be fairly soon indeed.
Nice.
And certainly looking at the top comments about our coverage of the add-on apocalypse, it really seems clear that the add-on changes broadly are making loads of people really happy, that they don't want add-ons to be clogging up the combat design of World of Warcraft.
Yes.
And honestly, I do sympathize. Actually, more than that, I agree.
I've been on this side the whole time. You guys know I hate add-ons. I barely have any in the game, and I've always been that way. And I just think they've ruined the game. I do. I think because especially when it comes to raiding. Weak auras, to me, were one of the worst things that have happened to World of Warcraft raiding. It's caused boss fights to become overly complicated. They're constantly trying to, make a fight that can't be trivialized by add-ons. I just think we're going to get better gameplay post this add-on world. And what I'm fine with when it comes to add-ons, those visual changes. You want to make your entire screen look like a furry, a furry orgy? Fine, do it. It's fine. You can have an add-on that does that. But what I don't like is add-ons that tell you what to do. I think those kind of that make the whole game just freaking silly. There's no reason to have shit like that in the game. And if you don't know what to do, then that's a problem with 2 things. The player, who clearly just hasn't taken the time to understand what to do, and the game that's visually not properly telling you what to do. And both of those things are conflated by add-ons. So removing the add-ons should remove those problems. That's what I think. And yeah, the visual stuff, I think it's fine. Blizzard should give you the ability, to customize your visual shit through add-ons because they're not going to be able to give you ever as much as an add-on's going to be able to give you with that stuff. So why not? And that's what they're doing.
Let us lay waste to this
Dagnus,
realm.
thank you for the sub. Welcome to our Scourge. Sam, you need a weak aura. I don't need weak auras. What about add-ons that tell you what is targeting you or certain players? That should be in the game. If we need an add-on to do that, then there's a problem with the game. And Blizzard's new nameplate shit should be showing you that. I agree. That should be something we know. And if that's not in the game, Blizzard needs to add it in the game. And what add-ons have done is it kind of made Blizzard a little bit lazy when it comes to that stuff. That shit should be in the game. That should not be an add-on that you have to go download.
Actually agree with that. And this week's update doesn't seem like
What's
a
up, Moishy?
philosophical change on that from Blizzard's end. What it is to me is them trying to make sure that the aesthetic-only customizations are still possible.
Why would anyone take advice about add-ons from someone who explicitly admits to not using them? Because you're all about to be in my world. That's why, Cadence. And I'm telling you, my world is a better world to be in. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna enjoy it. This is not the current game as it currently exists without add-ons. Blizzard's gonna make the game so it works better without add-ons. That's what they're doing. You're not going to have this overly complicated shit. They're uncomplicating things, making it a little bit more visually, what's it called? Intuitive. So you don't need add-ons, and it's all going to be okay. That's what I'm telling you. That's all.
Now, for what it's worth, WeakAura has tweeted a rather sharp no in response, which perhaps tells you all you need to know.
Probably also true.
Now, they followed up by saying that these Alpha 2 changes don't mean anything to them. I think to the rest of us, it's a good sign, but obviously, we'll have to wait until Alpha 3 to see what Blizzard's full plan is. Obviously, one downside of the add-on changes is a lot of accessibility stuff, right? People with disabilities would often be using add-ons to get around issues, and that really opened up the game and made it playable for them. Now, Blizzard are not suddenly doing anything huge in that front, but there is one really good update in this alpha, and that is text-to-speech has been added to Blizzard's cooldown manager.
Oh, nice.
And not just added, by the way. They have taken it very seriously. It's really good. So there's a list of changes here that allow for crazy customization.
Okay, for off-combat add-ons like collecting, crafting, yeah, those are not going to change. Traveling, maps, TomTom, those kinds of things are still going to work. Well, Blizzard's not like explicitly deleting add-ons from the game. They're just putting all the combat shit in a spot where add-ons can't access them. Access them. So basically you have, there's just not going to work anymore. Any combat-based add-ons not going to work anymore. The rest of the shit will be fine. Yeah, you want some kind of collecting add-on that you enjoy using it to, fly around and collect your nodes. Those will still work.
And overlapping alerts. And that would mean, as an example, if
messaging add-ons, shit like that, they'll work.
Well, now they can hook up text-to-speech alerts for their cooldowns and their abilities in the game itself. So that's fantastic for accessibility. Now, that being said, Blizzard can't really do this for things like the boss alerts, because if they were to do that, then we would in some ways be back at square one with add-ons. But the good news there, well, that's that recent bosses have been really good with specific voice lines that announce their abilities. And looking at all this effort, I think Blizzard are quietly taking accessibility seriously. They're just not committing to things publicly. Obviously, it would be good if they did. And that's not the only UI update either. There are some other things. Nameplates and the cooldown manager have both got some minor, but very welcome changes. Thus far, it's a great rate of improvement, so maybe we can have a little bit more faith that these will be good enough to use at release. That being said, there is still no sight of the damage meters or the raid frame changes.
I'm so excited for damage meters. I can't wait to see those. But probably the second thing I was most excited for was nameplates. And I think these are a good start. They're not where, your add-on nameplates are, but I think eventually they'll get there.
I guess here's to hoping they'll be
They're
there
usable
in
at least.
3. You may have seen a funny thing that with the launch of Legion Remix, everyone who made a druid instantly unlocked all of the Mage Tower bear and cat form appearances. This was an oops, and Kyvax did confirm that this was a bug, and they're working on rolling it back. Now, the language he specifically used was, quote, could use bear and cat forms that they did not earn. So basically, that's a fairly hard line in the sand for Blizzard there, that, you logged in, you got these things, but it was a bug, you didn't earn them, and because you didn't earn them, you're not going to be keeping them. And this obviously brought up the topic of time-limited rewards and prestige for World of Warcraft, for approximately the millionth time. And for Blizzard, it's a worse storm of PR, because they had all of that debate over the Mage Tower with Legion Remix, and then when the bloody thing launches, they have a bug that incorrectly gives people Mage Tower things. Oh, man, that's so perfect. You almost imagine someone sabotaged it on purpose. Anyway, the conversation around this has not led to anything. Blizzard have not yielded on their sort of line here. But given how carefully
I'm keeping mine equipped so maybe they don't go away. You could try. I don't think it's gonna work. But that's funny. He's hinting at like maybe it was some rogue dev who just gave that shit away to everybody and fucked it all up. But yeah, I feel for this is a tough PR moment for Blizzard for sure.
Their response was, I think they know what people think. Maybe this is the first step to having those things being opened up again in the future. We'll just have to wait and see. As for Legion Remix itself, well, it launched very broken for the first day. People had to Alt F4 and wait to get back in. And it turns out that handing quests into Khadgar somehow was bricking the game. Loads of server issues also showed up, even outside of Remix, because everything was being hammered. And it seems that it was fine.
I'll be honest, if Legion Remix launched without bugs, I would have been surprised. I'm not surprised that it launched with bugs at all.
Towards the end of the day, I can say that personally, I was still getting quite a bit of lag, like nighttime on EU launch day.
EU was a mess.
A little bit weird. And honestly, it's another data point in a worrying trend. Like, expansion launches are generally fine, but it's almost every patch launch we've had that's been broken or frustrating in some way for at least a day. I mean, do you remember trying to do the Nightfall event? That was one of the worst launch days I've seen in a long, long time. And there's an unfortunate upshot, and that basically is that until Blizzard gets a handle in this stuff, the main takeaway is just to wait a day or two to actually play WoW after a patch. And I kind of hate having to say that, because patch day should be the most exciting thing in an MMO. Anyway, I just say, wait a day or two and save yourself the frustration. As for Legion Remix itself, at least from what I can tell, it seems like it's doing quite well. I've been having fun. We'll have a more detailed video on it next week, but since people are already clearing Mythic Emerald Nightmare as of the first day, I think Blizzard may have done a good enough job in bringing the player power scaling to where people actually wanted it to be. So it seems that all of that stuff in the PTR really did pay off. This is an old drama, it's a big drama, and maybe this is nothing, but I do have to bring it up. A senior quest designer asked the community, quote, for fun, I sure knew this would be fun, what would the high elf racial mount be? Because, you know, in theory, if they were to become an allied race. Now, the correct answer, as everybody pointed out, is an updated Keldori steed from Wrath of the Lich King. That's a unicorn, and, well, that's actually...
For fun? He asked this for fun? Does he know how the high elf community is? Does he know how high that high elf community is? My God. So you guys were sending this in Discord, that high elves are coming. Is that what that was all coming from? Was this random dev asking this question and everybody lost their damn minds? Give me that horse. Yeah, I mean, look, high elves, playable high elves, I said from the very beginning, would have been great. I'm not like this, we got to have 200 elves race person, but high elves exist in the game. Not as a fucking customization to Void Elves, but an actual high elf. A high elf that never dabbled, never left the Alliance, never dabbled in the Fel and all that shit. These are proper high elves, and we have proper high elves. Illyria was one before she did all the voidy shit she did. You could have easily had high elves with different beard styles, different tattoo styles, the blue eyes, obviously. Like, they could have totally been an allied race, and then Blizzard went with the customization route instead. So this is a touchy subject. Man, I wonder if this dev got in trouble for asking this question.
You've been their emblem since Warcraft 2. So that's that question answered, but I mean, I know the person involved said for fun. Does feel like a little bit of a tease though. And obviously, given that Midnight is about unifying the elves, a patch 12.2 high elf allied race would not be an unthinkable thing. I mean, Verisa Windrunner has got a new model, and she will be present in patch 11.2.5.
Yeah, she does.
So they could already be laying down the groundwork. In fact, I think this would be a natural place for the story to go as well. Now, I'm not promising you anything, but if I was putting money on it, I would say Alliance High Elves, honestly. So, this week we've seen major progress on loads of different fronts. That's it for the news, but we've got a massive breakdown of the surprisingly huge patch 11.2.7 that's coming up soon, as well as our look into Legion Remix. As for right now, well, check out this video on what I would say is the largest change in WoW's history, the add-on Apocalypse.
Ooh. Yeah, so high elves are the high elf players are the Karens of Warcraft. Look, I mean, I did agree with the Void Elf edition over high elves. I never understood that. I guess Blizzard was trying to do a story thing, and that was why they did it. But I think that could have been handled better in terms of like population of actual elves in the game. There are, by lore, more high elves than there are Void Elves. So why these Void Elves showed up and joined the Alliance, I think was a backwards fucking thing to begin with, and it should have just been high elves. And hey, you could have voidy customizations. That would have been the better way rather than the reverse, where you got void elves with high elf customizations. But it is what it is. Oh well. Nice video overall from Bellular, and yes, gearing in Midnight I think is going to be the best we've ever seen.